playoffs, and Chattanooga Baylor is the site tonight. And Bruce, Baylor, a football team with a lot of talent, and they've got a tailback that's really got a lot of yards.
Yes, they have. They got a rich tradition, Tommy, with all the Hannah boys that used to play here. Chattanooga Baylor, looking across here, got an excellent field, and it's going to be a little wet tonight, however. I think the field is going to be muddy, however.
Beautiful facility and a great night for football here in the second round of the playoffs as the Blue Devils try to pick up that 10th win of the season, the first Lebanon team, Bruce, to win 10 games since the 1974 club.
Exactly. Mark Medley's never had a 10-win season. He's been close several times. He's had about 3-9, so we're looking for the 10th one so we can go to Knoxville or Jefferson County.
Winner of this game will advance to the winner of Jefferson County and Knox Central next week. We'll be back with the play-by-play of Chattanooga Baylor, Lebanon, after these messages. In Chattanooga, Tennessee, Tommy Bryan, Terry Stafford, Bruce Skeen will be bringing you the Blue Devil game tonight with the Red Raiders of Chattanooga Baylor. Here's the starting lineup the Blue Devils will use tonight as Lebanon tries to advance beyond the second round of the playoffs. Starting at tight end for Lebanon will be Scott Ogle, 6 foot, 185-pound senior. Starting at left tackle will be Wade Hatfield, 6'1", 206-pound senior. Starting at left guard will be Jonathan Richardson, 5'6", 155-pound senior. Starting at center will be Tim Hicks, 6'1", 235-pound senior. Starting at right guard, one of the heroes of last week's football game, Steve Rose, 5'11", 195-pound sophomore. Starting at right tackle will be Donnie Self, 6'2", 260-pound senior. Starting at split receiver will be Tracy Corley, 5'11", 164-pound senior. Starting at flanker will be Alan Bentley, 5'5", 145-pound senior. Starting at fullback will be Zach Dirksen, 5'9", 190-pound junior. Starting at tailback will be Montoya Crutchfield, 5'11", 167-pound senior. Starting at quarterback for the Blue Devils will be Greg Triplett, 6'1", 185-pound sophomore. Here's an offensive lineup for the Red Raiders of Baylor. David Sample, 5'11", 153 junior, will start at the split receiver. Starting at one tackle will be Robert Haywood, 6 foot, 216-pound senior. Starting at guard will be Brent Henry, 5'8", 205 senior. Starting at center will be Jason Gadd, 6'2", 235-pound senior. Starting at guard will be Chip Hudson, 5'11", 201-pound junior. Starting at tackle will be Jay Woods, 6 foot, 214-pound senior. Starting at tight end will be Dan Amig, 6 foot, 216-pound senior. Starting at quarterback is Ryan Dillon, 6'2", 185-pound senior. Starting at the fullback position will be Andy Moore, 5'9", 179-pound senior. Starting at tailback will be Fran Danjou, 5'8", 178-pound junior, 1,617 yards on 255 carries. Starting at the A-back position in that Colorado Eye will be Pete Hall, 5'8", 152-pound junior. We'll be back with the start of this second round football game. After this 2-minute break, you're listening to Blue Devil Football on WFMQ and Lebanon Cablevision 3. Campus of the Baylor School in Chattanooga. I'm Tommy Bryan along with Terry Stafford and Bruce Skeen. We are close to kickoff. Baylor dressed out in the red jerseys, white numerals, gray pants, and gray helmets. Lebanon across the way, white jerseys, blue numerals, white helmets, and white football pants. The Lebanon High seniors already on the field awaiting the instructions from the officials, which we understand this crew is out of the Maryville, Knoxville area. Once again, the winner of this football game will advance to the third round at the winner of tonight's Jefferson County Knoxville Central football game. So a lot of football left to be played as everybody works down toward that Saturday at Dudley Field on the campus of Vanderbilt University for the Clinic Bowl. Both teams here in the round of 16. The loser eliminated. The winner advances to the round of 8. Captains on the field as we await the toss of the coin. Field conditions here, natural grass, a good stand of grass according to Terry Stafford, who's been down on the field already. But Terry, a lot of water on the field tonight.
Tommy, we got a lot of rain. Chattanooga got a lot of rain last night, all day yesterday. A lot of water on the field. The grass itself, a very good stand of grass. But as you step, water swishes up over the shoe top, so there's a lot of water under that grass.
The indication was that Baylor had won the toss. The Red Raiders had decided to defer. Lebanon will receive to start this football game. The Red Raiders will kick, and we'll be back with the start of this game after a 2-minute break. You're listening to Blue Devil Football on WFMQ Lebanon. Brian, Terry, Stafford, Bruce Skeen ready to bring you the kickoff. Adam Hodges will kick it off for Chattanooga Baylor. A strong leg from the sophomore. Deep to return for Lebanon, Tracy Corley. And here with the play-by-play call, the voice of Blue Devil Football, Bruce Skeen.
All right, Tommy Hodges to kick off. No breeze at all. He kicks it deep. It goes to Corley, and it goes in the end zone. It went right by Tracy Corley, hit on the 2, rolled in the end zone. Lebanon will bring it out to the 20 where they'll take over. 1st and 10. I believe they'll be going, if I've got my location, going from south to north.
Bruce, a beautiful place for football. We've got a good location. The 50-yard line on the top level of the press box. Beautiful night for football.
No breeze, a muddy field, however. Slot left, Lebanon eye set. Triplet at quarterback. Calling signals. Takes it and runs a fullback straight up the middle, and he's got 5. He might have got 6. They handed that football to Zach Dirksen on a straight dive. He powered his way to the 26, maybe the 27. Let's give him 7 and call it 2nd and 3.
That defensive front for Baylor, Silberman is at a defensive tackle, 204 pounds. Henry is a nose man at 205. Kirk Fryer is another defensive tackle at 235.
Lebanon with a slot left. Baylor runs a 52. Lebanon triplet fumbles, picks it up, hands it to our tailback, and he won't get much. He's knocked down. He might have got a yard close to the 28 where he's knocked down. Triplet fumbled that football, picked it up, then handed it off to Crutchfield, and he's knocked down between the 27 and the 28. It's 3rd and a long 2 yards to go. A wet football, Tommy, probably.
Wet field, and as Terry alluded to, the water kind of squishes out when you're walking around down there.
Lebanon with a slot left again. Triplet calling signals. Takes it, runs Crutchfield off right tackle. He's got a 1st down. He crossed the 30 and banged to the 34 and got the 1st down. Montoya Crutchfield found some daylight on the right side. Lebanon's got a 1st down up on the 34 where he got knocked down by a couple of linebackers at 1st and 10.
Coming into tonight's football game, Montoya Crutchfield, Lebanon's leading rusher, 628 yards on 146 carries, averaging 57 yards per game. But when you consider that he didn't start for the first 5 or 6 games, that average is up around about 80 yards per football game as a starter.
And Donnie Seff, we've got an equipment timeout. Lost a shoe on that last play, and they're letting him take the timeout, the equipment adjustment. 10:46 to play, opening quarter from Chattanooga Baylor, and it's between the mountains, Signal Mountain. We're down in the valley. The field is extremely wet. However, we don't see a lot of water slushing around, but they had over 2 inches of rain here last night. Slot left, Lebanon 1st down and 10. Corley split out here to the left. Takes it, sweep. That will be Crutchfield. No gain, maybe a yard to the 35. They tried to run a sweep back into the tight inside, and Crutchfield got a yard to the 35 and got knocked down, and it's 2nd and 9 on Baylor's, on our own 35, that is, 2nd and 9.
Great crowd of Lebanon supporters on hand here tonight looking across the way. The visitor stands supposedly will seat about 2,000, and a great crowd across the way of Lebanon supporters.
Lebanon is 2nd and 9 on their own 35. Greg Triplett fakes, looks, pass, intercepted, and dropped. That linebacker of Baylor had it on the 44, and he was trying to hit Allen Bentley, and it went incomplete. It was almost intercepted as it hung up in the air, and he just couldn't come down with it. Lebanon tried to pass right over the middle to their slot back.
Andy Moore was the linebacker in coverage as we try the play action fake to the fullback, pull up and hit the slot back on the hot pass, broken up.
3rd and 9 on the 35, and Lebanon calling signals, and Triplett sprints to the left. Corley's wide open and dropped it, and it's intercepted and then dropped. Corley dropped it, and Baylor dropped it, so it must be a wet football. Corley had curled up on the 46, had the first down. It went right through his hands into a Baylor's man hands, and he juggled it for 5 yards and then dropped it incomplete.
Bruce, the defensive back was Pete Hall, trying to come up with the deflection from Tracy Corley. The ball, no question about it, Tracy should have had that one unless it was just terribly, terribly slippery. The ball thrown about eye level or maybe a little higher off his fingers. Deep to punt for the Blue Devils is Skullrood.
Stands on the 21, a good snap, and the punt is a low line drive kick that'll hit on the 36, roll across the 35, all the way across the 30, and roll to the 21 on a wet turf. That football rolled pretty well. Terry Stafford, a pretty good punt out of that.
Exactly what Lebanon needed, Bruce. From the 35, they downed it on the 21 of Baylor, 44 yards, no return.
And Bruce, this is what we like to do best, play that defense, line up and go get them, and look for our defense to be aggressive tonight and try to attack that tailback, Fran D'Anjou. 1,600 yards rushing the football so far this season.
I think they're going to put it on the 22-yard line. That's where we'll call it, the 22. And at Colorado Eye, quarterback Dillard takes it and runs the tailback. D'Anjou's got a big hole. He's up to the 30. He's across the 30. He's to the 35. First down. They ran their tailback. D'Anjou. Fran D'Anjou went straight up the middle, went from the